Okay, I just discovered that I have major performance anxiety, but hey, I'm INTP. I'm 27. I didn't have anything planned, really, like what I was going to say. Or, I figured maybe there are questionnaires online that I could have had prepared, but I don't. So I guess I'm just going to talk about myself, go on a stream of thought. I have a lot to say, but doing this sort of stuff makes me nervous because I'm very critical on myself, so I suppose I expect everyone to be as critical of me as I am of myself. So, my NTP, my mom, she's a psychotherapist. She's a clinical psychotherapist. I guess I'll just put it all out there, right? This might be a little condensed, or I don't know, but I think my mom has ASPD. I think my mom has antisocial personality disorder, and I think she's an ISFJ. I think she's an SIDOM, and she has tertiary introverted thinking, and that's a big part of why I have my functional stacking. And that's a whole can of worms in itself. So I would definitely be interested in talking about that, but hey, if anyone watches this and finds it interesting, like, I'd love to read the comments, and answer any questions. It's just something that I've been really passionate about for a really long time, but I think my mom tested me. She sat me down when I was in the 4th grade and asked me a bunch of questions. I don't remember any of the questions aside from when you go into a room, where do you choose to sit? Do you choose to sit more, near the wall, or on the perimeter of the room, or more amongst the people, and of course I answered more on the perimeter, because more to the side or whatever, because I think that I have strong traits of avoidant personality disorder. I think that I have deep-seated inferiority problems. I have dysmorphia. I mean, a lot of people obviously think that I'm attractive, but I've always felt really hideous. So yeah, I'm very avoidant, and I'm very in my head. But yeah, she asked me, she asked me all these questions that were down on paper. I think she may have gotten it from work somehow, the test, maybe it was work related. And then at the end she's like, you're INTP, that explains it. And that was in the 4th grade. So it didn't mean a whole lot to me. But I started looking into it in middle school, and I found it really interesting. And I became a little obsessed with it. Sorry, I need to drink some water. Sorry. Oh, I started to kind of obsess over it in middle school and high school because there was a point when I started to realize that I'm really different from other people. I don't relate to your average person. A lot of people can sort of, get along amongst each other, and it's sort of seamless for them, and I have that trouble integrating with people, and a lot of people treated me funny when I talked to them about things. A lot of people would just, act like I'm strange, or like stuff that I'm saying is strange. Like when I began trying to make friends at my new middle school, and even in the fourth grade after I changed schools, I was all right up to the third grade. I went sort of to an inner city middle school up until the third grade with more poor kids, and honestly I got along with them pretty well. I had a little bit of conflict with boys, but I butt head with some boys, but I got along well. And then in the fourth grade and fifth grade, I moved to an elementary school where kids were a little bit more snobby. I don't know, they just turned their noses up at me, and I didn't really understand them. I didn't understand where they were coming from. And, yeah, I don't know. It just always sort of baffling for me. I didn't understand why people thought that was so weird. What can I say? I definitely get more emotional. Like, I show more anger than a lot of other people. I'm not aggressive. I'm not covertly aggressive. I'm not passive aggressive. I just get acutely angry about things sometimes, and it seems to make people uncomfortable. I'm not even angry at someone in particular, to make that really clear. I'll be angry about a situation or a concept or something, and I'll just feel like people think I'm killing puppies or something. I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I don't know, I think I'm a really abstract thinker. I think a lot of people think more concretely than I do about things, and I have issues thinking concretely. I don't know my biological father, and my mom, since she has antisocial personality disorder, theoretically, this is all stuff that I think based on reading, a lot of reading and applying what I've read to experience, I just feel very strongly that I've deduced that my mom has ASPD. Which, obviously it entails a certain set of criteria if you're not too familiar. Obviously the common term is sociopath or psychopath. They use both of those terms sort of more commonly, or it's not in the, an expert wouldn't call it that, because it's not in the diagnostic statistical manual of mental disorders, but yeah, she just didn't, sorry, I might be going kind of slow, I'm not sure, but she didn't have the ability to bond. It's just like a really loaded topic for me because I just don't think she's capable of bonding with people. So, due to that, she wasn't emotionally there for me during the earliest formative stages in my life. And I think that she really neglected me. She really neglected me hardcore. And I always had to look out for myself, and I think that I have problems with OCD because of it. And I think that I have to think everything through to bits. Like, I think mentally I have to go through things like a fine-tooth comb in a certain way. In a certain, like critical way. Because... well, I feel like at its core there's like this sense of vigilance to it because my mom she didn't like look out for me and she didn't take care of me, so bad things happened to me. You know, my mom didn't have the capacity to bond and she was irresponsible. Which is, you know, that's, pretty sure both of those are diagnostic criteria for ASPD. So she didn't love me, you know, she didn't nurture me. I don't know, I guess I'm talking about that because I feel like that's very significant to the formation of my personality. And, you know, it's a theory that I have about why I'm INTP. And I guess it's all stuff that I want to get out there because if anyone's really interested in Myers-Briggs, if anyone's INTP, I mean, I sure would have liked to have... you know, something like this to mull over, I suppose. Except, I don't know, I suppose I should look more, shouldn't I? But there was a point when I did look and I felt like I fell a little short. I suppose I should have bought Please Understand Me. I never ended up buying. I still need to buy Please Understand Me. But, pretty sure that I'm an introverted thinker. Oh, how do I articulate this one concept? I just feel like I think about everything to bits. I just have to think about everything. And it's like this burden. It's like a burden, like I can't even stop. Like I have problems with insomnia, like I have problems going to bed at night because I have so many thoughts racing through my head, and I think I'm bipolar. My mom thinks I'm bipolar. She told me I'm having a manic episode one time, and I mean, she's a psychotherapist, mind you. Yeah, I'll have these insane, like, flights of thoughts. Like, I'll just have so many thoughts, and I'll have so many revelations, and, I don't know, I'll get insomnia, and I'll just feel like my thoughts keep me up. I'll feel like I have so many theories to think about. Like, I've thought about so many things, like my mom being ASPD. I don't know, I obsess a lot about diet. That's one thing that interests me, I suppose. Because, it has to do with self-preservation, I suppose, and I'm like a hypochondriac. Yeah, I'm a hypochondriac. I'm always obsessing about possible things that could be damaging me. You know, like, I don't know. Which obviously I think is like more, it's more having to do with my OCD, and then it's more, you know, it's fear based. It stems from fears that I have from neglect from my mom. Oh, another problem I feel like I have is like, since I have extroverted intuition, I feel like I have an issue with completion. Like in Jung's psychological types book, the big fat one, that's super, like, it has this super condensed syntax that's really difficult to break down. Like, he talks about the extroverted intuitive type, and he talks about how they, you know, they sow these seeds all over, and they're too scattered, you know, and they don't hang around to reap the fruits of what they planted. And I feel like I do that. I would feel like I'll start a project, and then, you know, I'll become excited by a new project, and it just sucks. It sucks when you look back in retrospect and you're like, oh, look at all these, you know, all these not even half finished, like quarter finished projects that I've just abandoned. And I don't know. I feel like that's a thing, and then I feel like I use introverted sensing a lot too, but it's way shittier than my mom's. And since my mom's such a fucking sociopath, she uses that against me. I don't even feel like talking about that. But she was really into Nancy Drew, and she had all these Nancy Drew books that I read a little bit growing up, and I feel like when, like I have a lot of stalkers for some reason. Like, maybe it's because I'm interesting, and I'm not that bad looking, you know, so people will get interested in me, and they'll stalk me and kind of, like, you know, just covertly bully me, like, you know, and I'll feel like when I'm like, I'll get like interested in them because they're stalking me, you know, and I'll sort of counter stalk them, and I'll just feel like I'm using my introverted sensing when I'm counter stalking them. I'll feel like Nancy Drew, and I'll feel like Nancy Drew probably has to do with introverted sensing, and if I could talk about why, right, it can be hard to articulate, I suppose. It can be hard to articulate things pertaining to this topic for me, but I really want to get it out. I don't know, I really want to get it out. It excites me because, introverted sensing. I'm not as good at the perceiving functions. I feel like I have a better grasp of the judging functions. Like, judging is, you know, they're sort of, I suck at this. But okay, I'm just gonna end it here. Maybe I'll continue later and then just stitch it on, because this is really emotional for me. I'm like overwhelmed and tired already. Okay. I'll talk to you guys later.